Zenless Zone Zero has been praised for its unique yet charming character design set in an urban fantasy world. Myself included have praised the game's design, especially those from Season 1. While Season 2 has more players debating on the success of these designs, there is a shining gem that ZZZ gets right. I'm talking about none other than the NPC or non-playable character designs that we've gotten. Some of these designs have become so loved that players have begged the developers for them to become officially playable in future patches. Taking a step away from the playable characters, I want to highlight those that we encounter in the story and discuss their designs and why players have come to enjoy them so much. The role of NPCs. In gaming, the role of an NPC is to help the player along their journey or help immerse the player into the world. If you've played any kind of game before, you've likely run into an NPC that gave you a quest. Some run shops that you can buy from or complete rewards for, like Sweetie in Wi-Fi Peninsula. Some run minigames like Asha with her Godfinger Arcade. Some can give you access to buffs like General Chop, or you can get more stamina with the Tint Master. Other NPCs will serve more of a narrative purpose in the story. Continuing to use ZZZ as an example, we have Isolde, who played a part in the recent Season 2 storyline. We have Pompeii, who played a part in the Outer Ring storyline. At the time, Pulchra was an NPC as well, and rumor has it she wasn't intended to be playable. It's said that due to positive player feedback, Pulchra was turned into a playable character, but I couldn't find any official information that says this is the truth. It's definitely an interesting theory, and I wouldn't be too surprised if it turns out to be true. If yes, then it can give us hope for other cool NPCs to become playable in the future as well. Wouldn't that be fun? In gacha games in particular, NPCs don't have the same level of importance as a playable character. I guess there could be an argument made for the more narratively important characters. For example, Pompeii was pretty damn important during the Outer Ring quests, and it wouldn't have been the same without him. As a result, most of the NPCs are not important, so many titles will reuse assets for them. I think Genshin is a pretty good example of this. It's the same variety of model with different coat of paint. I think what makes the NPCs in ZZZ so successful is that the ones that are meant to be a little more important have a design that reflects that. Imagine if Sweetie was just another copy-pasted NPC, or what if Isolde was just another copy-pasted soldier NPC? Especially in Isolde's case, it would have been more difficult to take her role in the story seriously, which leads me to my next point. Variation. Character variation I've always found is a good thing. It's one of the first things I praised ZZZ for back in my first video about it. I liked how we could play as robots, giant bears, etc. It was a nice breather from the typical anime boy and anime girl that we usually get in gacha titles. I'm happy to see this variation continue with the various NPC designs. Perhaps I feel this way because the game is a lot fresher compared to hoyoverse's other titles, but even the copy and pasted NPCs don't feel too out of place. I can tell they reused assets, but they mix it up enough to where it hasn't come to bother me yet. Then, as briefly touched upon earlier, the NPCs with a bit more importance are the ones that really shine. I love seeing Sweetie in front of her shop fanning herself. I love interacting with Howl, the husky dog, at the newsstands to get my daily scratcher. I find it interesting that the ramen shop is run by restaurateurs with numerous mechanical arms. Suddenly, places and NPCs that would have been written off as forgettable now stick out in my brain. I think ZZZ really nails that balance. The playable characters still take the spotlight in terms of animations and designs, but the NPCs aren't left to hang dry either. I remember when Pompeii's fate was revealed to us in the story, and a lot of players got upset. They grew attached to this character, and that wouldn't have been possible if he was NPC model number 39 or whatever. A lot of the players wanted Isolde to become playable as well, seeing her fate in the story broke many of their hearts, as this likely meant she wouldn't be joining the roster. It's the extra effort that helps these characters shine and help the players grow more attached to them. I can't talk about character design without actually taking a look at the designs themselves. I'm going to talk through some of the more prominent NPC characters from Zenless Zone Zero that stick out in my brain and try to convey what I think made them work so well. Pompeii. Pompeii is a character we typically don't see much of in gacha games, at least when it comes to the playable characters. He's an older, larger man that uses gray, black, and white as his main color palette. Of course, he's got various gold accents near his shoulders and back, but that doesn't distract from the outfit. I definitely get a biker vibe from him, which is perfect considering the setting of the Outer Ring. Isolde. She has a bright mint colored hair with a black flower on the side. Her main colors consist of black with a small splash of white and red. I like how the colors are well balanced throughout the design, and for whatever reason I really like the red ribbon-like texture near her legs. It reminds me of Stitch's. I actually didn't notice this in her design while playing the game, but it looks like she may have mechanical legs. I will say the lower part of her body does struggle as a lot of the shapes start to blend together, making it not as clear. Pulchra. I did include Pulchra on this list because she was the first NPC that became playable. I actually don't think much of her design changed from being an NPC to being playable either. It goes to show you that the developers took what they had and didn't feel the need to embellish the design further. If that theory is true, then I hope we get more NPCs turned playable characters in the future, especially if they are 4 stars like Pulchra. It would be a nice nod to the fans. Sweetie. I remember when Sweetie was first revealed that the players loved her design. She's got traditional Chinese attire using the main colors of black and red. The colors are well balanced and I really like her hair accessories. I'm not sure if the skin window right under her chest was completely necessary, but thankfully it doesn't distract me too much from this really cool NPC design. I like how they gave her sunglasses on her head too. This is a design that I personally would actually like to see become a 4-star support character or something similar. Howl, I have to include the dog, okay? He's a husky with a green striped jacket ready to work. I like that he has what looks like an orange scanner attached to his collar. If that is what it is, it's a cool detail as you are claiming scratchers from him, and he can use that device to scan them. Also, the added detail of him falling asleep at the stand during the midnight hours was pretty cute. Most players reported not being able to wake him up and would wait until the morning to claim their scratcher or to check the newspaper. General Chop. For such an interesting design, it's a shame that the ramen shop isn't widely used. I remember using it maybe once or twice before deciding it just wasn't worth the effort. This is a very unique design that reminds me of the Japanese Daruma dolls. Maybe that's where they were gathering inspiration from. He wears a white kimono and hat and uses his mechanical arms to make the ramen. That's just cool. They could have made him make ramen normally, but why not? Let's give him arms that stand out. Tin Master. When I first saw the Tin Master, I found the design weird. However, after learning more about the world of ZZZ, I think the robotic coffee master fits right in. I like the bright orange apron for the pop of color and the cartoonishly large white gloves. The metal mustache is a nice detail too. Asha. I'll admit, I didn't realize she was a bunny Thyron for the longest time. I just thought it was her hair. But now that I know her hair in the back is actually her large bunny ears drooped down is a really nice detail. The bright neon green and purple colors work well together and she definitely gives me an arcade owner vibe. I don't go into the arcade too often unless there's an event surrounding it, but she's a cool looking NPC to run the shop. This is where I'll wrap up the quick character design summaries, but there's plenty more interesting NPCs in this game. To rapid fire some of them, we have Coco, who is an employee at the boba place. We have the newer NPC with a large TV for a head. We have Rain, the Scott Outpost, and Susie, who we were introduced to very early running the W Engine shop. As a fun little Easter egg, one of the NPCs named Sajal also changes her hair color almost every single patch. Clarity. The last topic I want to discuss regarding NPC design is clarity. While many of us are enjoying these character designs, we are still able to discern that they likely won't be playable. They may have certain details, but not on the same level as the playable characters do. I believe that Zenless Zone Zero nails this balance. Instead of constantly giving us the same face copy and pasted NPC, they know how to give an NPC some flair, helping them become far more memorable without outshining the playable cast. Not only did ZZZ manage to accomplish this, but many of the NPCs fit their roles well. I like that Coco, who works at a boba place, uses really bright colors. I like how Pompey has a large black jacket, which you'd expect from a motorcycle rival gang. Even though I didn't mention Bringer or Sarah previously, I like how Bringer has a version of the police officer outfit, and Sarah is shrouded in dark colors with pops of red. Wouldn't that be super wild if Sarah became playable one day? I highly doubt it, but what a twist that would be. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've gained a new appreciation for the NPCs of the Zenless Zone Zero world. If you like character design videos, I have more you can watch next. If you enjoyed, please leave a like or consider subscribing. I hope to see you again in the next one.